I'll start us off. Don't take the mic.
You are listening to the Like a Girl podcast. We are on a mission to make women's fitness accessible, taking into account everything that comes with it, from periods to body image to the nitty-gritty of what it's like being a girly, navigating fitness for the first time. The information provided in this podcast is intended for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as medical advice. Whilst we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information on women's health and fitness, every individual situation is unique. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional or your doctor before starting a new exercise program, changing your diet, or making decisions related to your health. The opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and guests and do not reflect the views of any affiliated organisations. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Like a Girl podcast. We have been gone for a little bit and we are sorry about that, but we are back and we've got a special episode coming up. Hopefully you're already aware, and if you're not, look out. It is Mother's Day today, so to celebrate we have got our very own mums on the podcast. Okay, let's do a random introductions and then also a how was your week. So, this is my mom, Becky. Hi. And then do you want to do yours?
Yeah. This is my mum, Gayle. Hello.
Okay, let's jump into how everyone's week was. We'll start off with Ella because we know what we're doing. Ella, how was your week?
She's a pro. Yeah, my week was good. It's been full on, I can't lie. We had our varsity match the other day. Mum was there supporting. It was a lot, you know.
Oh, really?
It's a huge thing. If you're not from Sheffield, you have Uni of Sheffield and you have Hallam, and it's this whole blokey beef. It was a huge event, and we opened the whole ceremony, so it was massive stands, huge crowds, and a lot of heckling going on. It was just quite a lot. We had a full-on run out. I had a green screen turn around on the big screen. So it's all the cheerleaders line up. The lights go out. There's a spotlight, and then you run out one at a time and shout the name over them.
Oh my god! Like in American football.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And then you all line up on the line, and then you face off with the other team, and then you start playing. We lost.
God.
Spoilers. It was pretty rough.
It was a good try though.
Thank you. Thanks. Did you have any takeaways from the match?
I took away that I wouldn't like to be on the wrong side of that arena.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Because it was quite leery, and then at the end, when everybody stood up, I thought, is there going to be a big fight now?
The pressure was high. But no, I had a great time. Went out after a little bit, so feeling worse for wear for a few days after. But yeah, no, that was my week.
Oh, lovely.
What about you? How was yours?
My week is, so I'm working away at the moment in Peterborough, which is quite a long way from where we live, so I have to stay over there. I've got a cute little flat.
Oh.
But other than that, the week was pretty good.
My week was just full of work. I don't know about you.
Workaholic.
Yeah.
She gets it from.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no, it was literally all work. I think I did 2 gym sessions, which was one day of legs, one day arms, and then nothing.
So a week's quite good because I did PT Tuesday, which was legs, the Friday, which was arms. So we've done similar. There you go. But yeah, mine was mostly work. I can't think of anything exciting.
No, sometimes you have to have those quiet weeks. You know, it just happens. Do we want to do some quick fire recommendations then? I'm happy to start us off.
Do you want to kick it
One. Yeah, so I was listening to a different podcast the other day, and they were talking about doing their live episodes, and they were actually winding down to do their live episodes. So they were reducing the amount of work they were doing and kind of the exercise they were doing to make sure they had a lot of energy for those live episodes.
Okay.
That interested me because when I've got a lot of work on, I still think I should be doing the same amount of everything else. I don't think about, lessening up stuff to make room for different priorities. And I feel like maybe that's an element in fitness if you've got a very specific goal that you're trying to reach, like if you've got a big marathon or whatever coming up, I guess there's an element, right, if you need to eventually decrease certain
Right.
elements of training. But that was something that I'd never really deeply considered. And I used to like eat myself up a little bit for like reducing.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I'm going to try and change. Go forward.
Such a good point. Yeah. I have something a little bit similar, to be fair. I think on the run up to varsity, like my mindset was like, let's train every day.
Yeah.
I thought like I run every day, and I will train every day. Probably not the way to go about it. So yeah, I agree. Take breaks probably. Recommendation for you.
My recommendation is know that you'll feel better afterwards and go.
Yeah, it's hard to have that face sometimes. When
Yeah.
you're just like, oh.
Yeah. What about you?
I think probably from a fitness perspective, mine would be that it's okay to have a bad week.
Yeah.
So if you're allowed to have a bad week, and I've had probably a couple of bad weeks in that I've been doing more social things, so that you're putting all your energy into that, and then it makes you less want to turn up and do your stuff, doesn't it? And I think it's about that consistency is okay, and it's okay to have a bad week, come back to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the coming back is a big success, ultimately, isn't it? It's that hardest part, like, for sure.
Yeah, it's easy to beat ourselves up a little bit.
Yeah. It's so
You
easy.
take it easy. It's fine.
That's the overarching recommendation of the week then is look after yourself.
Yeah. Self-care is what we're saying.
Theme of it all.
Okay. So the theme of today's episode, we're thinking, is different generations. I don't know loads about different generations. I don't know what they are. I don't know what generation I am personally. Probably should. But yeah, so we thought we'd have a little bit of a chat about the different perspectives of different generations towards exercise and fitness and how we approach it, and then if we can learn anything from each other, maybe. Yeah, it'll be a cute learning experience. So yes, we'll start off with the first question. What generation do we think we all are?
I think I'm Gen X, but I don't know. What that is. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm like kind of the same. I think Gen Z. I think.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I'm Gen Z, but I'm like the cut-off point.
Really?
So I'm like, I am Gen Z, but I think I'm the awkward.
Awkward in the middle.
Yeah, like, I've got a lot of millennial traits.
You do, yeah, you do.
I think I'm just literally on that border where
Yeah.
it's like, I think I am on paper Gen Z, but there's a good dollop of millennial mixed in.
There really is. Like your obsession with your Stanley Cup and.
Shots are being fired. Okay.
The love of spreadsheets is too strong.
I agree with that.
From all sides.
Jeez,
This
okay.
is
Saffron's
perfection,
roast. Actually, that's a very millennial thing to say, a roast. I didn't mean to ask
Sorry,
myself with this
yeah.
question. What do you think you are, Mom?
I think, well, I was confused as to whether I was a Y, Generation Y, which I think, but you may be millennial as well.
Yeah.
We have Gen X, 1965 to 1980. That's me. Gen X. Millennials, 81 to 2000. Gen Z.
I'm a millennial.
There you go.
Millennial. We are.
Till 2000.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're
Oh my god! No, you actually are! See,
You're a full millennial.
this is a crisis.
I don't know what I'm going to do with this today.
I knew
I need to go
it!
watch Harry Potter.
No, I actually knew it.
Oh my god.
The love of the Stanley Cup was too real. You really outed yourself.
Is that
You're a millennial.
But is a Stanley Cup a millennial thing?
I don't know, it just gives that
Well,
vibe.
maybe just like, I don't know.
I don't know.
What's you then?
I'm Gen Z. Just actually. 2001. I'm old. So, just.
So you were that awkward, and then that's why you like Harry Potter.
Maybe. Maybe I'm some awkward,
Oh my
in the middle kind of gal. What's after that? Like Gen A?
Oh, Alpha, yeah.
Alpha. Then there's Beta about to come out. The new release.
The new generation
The new
to
one.
be born.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just Beta.
That is pretty wild though. Okay, so now that we've got the generations somewhat
Sorted.
pinned
I
down,
don't know if we do, but okay.
I don't know if I'm ready to comprehend mine. Let's move on.
7 stages of grief.
true millennial passion. I'm going to repress it.
Yeah.
Deal with it later.
Yeah.
But
Bottle it up.
we were going to do a brief check of kind of what everyone's interest in fitness is. So what do you tend to do? What's your go-to fitness type?
So mine's very much strength training.
Nice.
And what I've discovered is that I really love lifting heavy weights. So I challenge myself, and my PT's really good at making sure that I've done it through baby steps. But
Yeah.
he's put me into a competition I didn't realise
Has he? I
against
didn't
your
know
father.
Oh yes, no, I do know about this. Yes.
So his PT and my PT have created this competition about who can lift the heaviest deadlift by getting weight short. So I'm on full on training against any, like, I didn't have anything to do with it. So I just love lifting heavy weights.
That's really cool.
Bit of background, Mum is so competitive, and I feel like Dad's really kind of not. He's not ready for this because you will outlive anyone. I've been to the gym with Mum a couple of times. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's actually terrifying. Like it's humbling.
I love training. I love training with. So I train with Ella when she's home, and also with her younger brother. We all go to Brent, and it's really good to have that kind of. Well, I like the competition.
You just like flexing on everyone.
That's so fair. That's so fair.
Like Mum can like stack the whole thing of weights on.
I mean, can I ask, like, what's your current personal best?
My current personal best deadlift is 90 kilos.
Wow.
Oh my
So
god.
I'm not fully sure what Brent's aiming for.
That is impressive.
So yeah, so I can lift Ella's dad up now, as I have told him, and very near should that be a requirement.
Under the passion.
If ever needed.
Easily, just.
Oh, that is incredible.
So
And then Ella, you obviously do netball. We've talked about it a lot.
Yes.
But there's also running and
Yeah.
weights.
I
Like,
like
is
to run.
anything?
Yeah, I just do a bit of everything. I just love it. Yeah, I'm trying to get back into weights just because. Yeah, I really should. I'm gonna get injured. I love cardio. That's where. Oh my gosh, I love a long run. It really clears my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I need to start weightlifting again because I will get dodgy knees.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy it. I'm enjoying netball, but I'm happy the season's kind of come to an end now. I've had a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Maybe get more into the weightlifting side. You can go and see Brent with Mum.
Oh,
Maybe
that'd be
one
nice.
day I'll be able to outlift you. It's actually just the truth.
It's something to aim to.
Yeah.
It's aspirational.
Yeah.
You say that as if it's never going to happen.
Well,
Yeah.
probably not.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I feel like that's probably something I borrowed from you a little bit, is the cardio side. So when we first met, I was all weights, and now I do a little bit of cardio, a bit more of like a hybrid approach. But I do totally agree with the whole kind of like the importance of doing weightlifting for that safety element
Yes.
as well, and making sure your body is strong enough to do the cardio that you want to do. I went skiing recently, and one of the girls I was with, she tore her ACL, and yeah, it was like looked rough.
Yeah.
But God, I was obviously afterwards, I was like, oh my god, how do I make sure this doesn't happen to me?
Yeah.
But it is all the strength training that I've already done. So like all the workouts that we do, high rocks and stuff, like it was all of that sort of things. So like there was a moment of kind of appreciation for the fact that kind of the weight training saved me a bit from maybe
Yeah.
not very classic accidents.
Yeah. It's so
yeah.
important, especially women. Like your ACL is such a common injury.
Yeah,
You see it
It's
in
massively common.
Yeah, and it's so hard to watch when you see it on a
Oh god, yeah, I watched a video.
Yeah.
So literally that same day, I think it happened to a footballer. So we all saw the video then of that, and I was
Oh.
horrible.
And it takes an hour a year.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Time recovery.
Yeah.
But yeah, so strength and cardio for me. What about you?
Well, I think I'm probably a little bit similar.
Yeah.
So I do sort of strength with my PT, and then I go to her Zumba classes for my cardio, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
Nice. I've been to both your PT and Zumba.
Yeah,
classes.
I think when I first started, so I really started like my fitness in September. Did you say?
Yeah.
So, and I think that, like you've seen my fitness before then, which is cool. non-existent. And I think my little good thing about it all was when I took Taria around yourself to my classes. They actually came out and were like, "Whoa, you work really hard in there." I was like, "Yes, I do."
That's nice.
I found some of them kind of good as well because you kind of had no choice but to let go of whatever you were thinking because the moves are so complicated.
It's not a thing.
But I think the nice thing about Zumba is you can put as much into it. So sometimes if I go, we do it on a Friday evening, and sometimes by the end of the week you'll be like, and I'll go and you can put in as much effort or as little effort as you want, but you're still moving. So that's the positive. So yeah, I like that about it.
Yeah, I think it's really nice, really nice. I wasn't good at it, but it was. This week was a try. Was it?
Yeah, because everyone in the group got to pick their own their own favourite songs.
Oh.
Nice.
That was hard.
What's yours?
I didn't pick one because I thought I was coming to yours, so she offered me to pick, and I said, "Oh, I'm not coming tonight." And then I did go in the end.
What
so
would you have picked?
I don't know, because I quite like I think I like the slow one.
We tried to be the positive one in the group. Everyone was picking all high ones.
Okay, shall we go into the first proper question?
Let's get into it. All right, so we know you both started your fitness journeys a little bit more recently or later in life. So what would you say was the first step of you getting into fitness, and why did you choose to start?
Ooh. Okay, so I'm 52, and I started in last July, and my motivation for starting was pretty simple. It's because I wanted to live longer, and I kind of, as you guys are growing up, with Toby just about to turn 16, I wanted to be able to not just live longer, but that quality of life, to be able to enjoy things. And I realised that I'd been holding myself back from doing things for fear of looking stupid or not being, just not being able to do things. And also I'm type 2 diabetic, and was, everything associated with that I knew was shortening my life, and so I kind of just had to work with myself really. I could just make that decision. So I started just by swimming because I thought I needed to be hidden underwater mostly. A lot of it was scary walk from the changing room to the pool, but you have to do that. And I did a sponsored swim for motor neurons, swim 6K in May. So I started doing that. Then I just started an aqua class. I've got to try an aqua class, which is where I met my PT, who was running the class, and he was very good at that, building that kind of sense of. It was fun, and he was very kind of, he noticed, I could see that he could spot things like coming in, and so I thought, right, I'm going to invest in myself, and I just booked 3 months of PT. But then the first time I went into the gym, Brent said, do a 3-minute warm up on the row machines, and I can't do that. That was kind of where I was. My mindset was very much, no, I can't do that. But he was so clever in how he took the small steps and made me kind of grow in confidence to the point now where, it's just completely, it's a game changer. And I've so far lost 20 kilos, come off the diabetes medicine.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
So in remission, and just feel so much healthier that I can't imagine not doing it now. And his goal he said, I will get you liking exercise. And I was like,
Never.
I don't think so. And then this week when I injured my elbow, and I messaged myself, I'm really panicking, I can't train. So look, stage 1 of the transition is complete. What's stage 2? He was like, evolution. I was like, okay, good. Right. Can I train? So that was my motivation. Yeah, and how I kind of got into it. Yeah, I've noticed such a change. Like, you want to see, I don't know, every day just so much more energetic, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's just a mental thing as well, isn't it? It's what it does for you mentally. Yeah. Confidence and
just feeling like, like I went shopping. I stopped trying to hide inside myself. It's just a whole different mindset.
Yeah, it's brilliant, honestly. I mean, you go to Ireland.
It's not about chasing a number. That is not what it's about. It's about you gaining confidence in yourself and trusting your body, and building all that up. So I would highly recommend to any woman to get a PT.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that is really important because I would have given up. Because you don't have that accountability.
But yeah, it is that structure as well though. I mean, like when you're in the gym, it's such a vulnerable situation. You're trying a new movement, you don't know what you're doing. And if you're on your own, it can be so intimidating, especially when you feel like people are watching you when they aren't necessarily, but it can feel like it.
It does feel like that.
Yeah. So having someone to be like, right, you can change your form slightly and you'll feel it here, and this muscle, and it'll do this for you. In the long term, like it's so useful to have someone with that expertise backing you.
Yeah, definitely. Things like deadlifts. So the first time I tried a deadlift, I wasn't using the right form, and I was using my back, and I could feel that. I was like, and he straight away is like, no, right, well, we're not going to do that for a while because we need to build up different muscle groups and like so and now I'm lifting 90 kilos.
Come on, say.
And don't and I know that I'm doing it right, because that was another fear, is injuring yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you don't know what you're doing, and probably a lot of people do injure themselves.
Yeah.
Just kind of because you haven't got someone there guiding you. It's like, no, you need to bend your legs a bit more here, or hinge from the hips, or whatever it is.
On the note of PTs, we'll make sure to put links to specific PTs in the show notes.
Yes.
So if you're interested, you can find them all there.
Yeah.
What about you, Mum?
For me then, I think my journey started really by being encouraged by you, wasn't it? Kind of. So like, Taria was leaving home and I think I felt sad about that. And was like, what am I going to do with all my time? And Saffron was like, you should go and exercise. And I've got a stressful job at the time, and I probably just didn't have a healthy lifestyle really at all.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So I was like, oh, okay. And I messaged this girl, Annette, at Funky Fitness in like July, and I messaged asking about it and stuff, and then left it as you do, because I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if I can go. And then one day in September, she messaged me saying, oh, hi, have you thought of any more about the PT sessions? And just on that day, I was like, I'm going to do it. So I just messaged back, I'd love to, when can I come? And she was like, gave me a date, and kind of that was me in then, wasn't it? And a bit like you said, like I never really enjoyed fitness, did I? Like when we tried different things, I'd get fed up with it and be like, oh, I can't do it. And I just taught myself out of it, and I think a lot to do with, like you said, about that confidence that I just didn't have. And so I think she's done amazing in building my confidence. And like you said, I think the key is having the PT, because I think when you go on your own, it's so hard. Really hard. And you haven't got that person, like you said, about the accountability. I need that. I need someone to be like, I know she's waiting for me at 6:30 in the morning, and I can't let her down, so I go.
Yeah, exactly that.
Whereas I remember one day I was going, it was snowing, and I said, if this was going to the gym, I wouldn't have come. I'd have been like, no, I'm not coming.
It's so easy to find excuses not to.
Yeah, definitely. So I love that. And then she's made like a real community out of it, which I love. So we have like a Zumba group chat, we have our PT group chat, and so I've made friends, and I think like that's dead important to come with it.
Definitely, yeah, that social side of it.
Yeah.
I never really realised about that side of it, because I was just sort of so the whole thing was so horrific. It was like, thought of going. But yeah, so my PT's got a WhatsApp group, and women are joining it, and women on a similar journey, kind of empowering each other, and that support to have when you're having a bad day, or like you were saying, like you've had maybe a bad week, and previously you would have like completely self-sabotaged and thought, well, I've blown it now.
That's it.
But then you kind of, you put. I think it's important to seek that support and advice from others on that journey.
And I think that's the good thing about those groups, and having that community where everyone's in the same position.
Yeah.
You kind of spur each other on, and she'll do like a monthly challenge. So it'll be like a certain exercise, and then everyone who goes to the PT sessions will do that exercise. And no one ever really finds out who did what.
No.
But the fact that we've all done it, and everyone will be like, oh, that was so hard, and we've like shared in that thing is nice to see. So it's really good.
Yeah. It's a shared experience. It's like the shared results and the shared like amazing feeling after, but also low-key the shared pain during it. It's like that feeling of I don't know, we're going through the same thing for a reason.
Yeah, because whoever goes to like the Monday group, they'll put on like, this week's tough. And then everyone's like, oh no. But then by Friday, everyone's like, oh yeah, but wasn't it great? And we've all done it by then, so it's quite nice doing that.
I think something I liked about maybe both journeys as well into the fitness kind of side of things is that we're both kind of brave just once.
Yeah.
Like you just put yourself out there once
Yeah.
and all of this has happened. It's not like you do have to be that consistently brave. You can find ways to create consistency.
Yeah.
You just got to be brave.
I think the hardest step is the first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
The first one is like crossing that threshold.
And I think it is an investment in yourself.
Yeah, I like that about how you said that, because I hadn't really necessarily thought of it about that putting that time and energy into me.
Yeah.
Like I think I've seen it more of an escape. Like it's it's time for me, but it's time for me away from everything else, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
I think it is that investment. Let's invest in Porkshire, yeah.
Because having that strength, having the the muscle strength, that we listen to a podcast about the stats about women who break a hip, example, over the age of 80 or whatever, like or some horrific percentage, like 80% die within the first year, and the fear, and there's a direct correlation between leg strength, longevity of life, and all of that kind of, because that's how you save yourself from a fall, is with having that strength.
Reaction like that.
So it's obviously scary. Yeah, it's that investment in the future, and I'm retiring in like 5 years, I hope. And I really want to be able to enjoy that retirement fully, like living life to the full after working so hard and raising a family. It is that investment, I think, and but I also know that there is a barrier in terms of costs sometimes for people. Yeah, but there are alternatives. Like I know that Brad does online, for example.
Yeah, my PC's just starting online, and she does that.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be like when I do my sessions with her, we talk about that, and she talks about how that's going to become more of the way forward now with PT. I think because of people's commitments with time.
Yeah.
And I think if you're like for a mum at home with a young one, that's something you can do. And if you can do it with like not necessarily big equipment, but doing things, with simple equipment in the whole area. There's ways that is the way forward, isn't it?
So it becomes more accessible financially and also physically in terms of that kind of getting, and also perhaps removes some of those barriers of the fear of going into a gym.
Yeah.
It's interesting, talking about the different generations, and I wonder whether there's different pressures for different generations, because for me now, when I go in, I think there's a certain freedom that comes from being the age I am.
Yeah.
And being quite bolshy about it. And I don't worry now about going and getting a bench in the T-zone, in the free weights bit, and I'll kind of just, and I'll go in and I'll wait for somebody to leave. I would never have done that before, but also I wonder if there's a different pressure on younger women, it's different kind of perspectives. Do you feel like you're ever kind of, I don't know, objectified? Because obviously that's not an issue I have at 52. But I wonder if does it feel like a different level of pressure?
Very different kinds of pressures.
Yeah.
I would say there's almost an expectation, like it's a bit of a trend now to look quite good when you go into the gym, like full basic makeup, hair done, matching set that you've spent a decent amount of money on, so they're already
so expensive.
Like it's not worth it, I'm not gonna lie. And you go in and you like ready to go, like looking nice, and sometimes we're not looking nice. Sometimes I feel awful.
And if you're doing it properly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you're in there for a proper gym session, it does not matter how you came in. You could come in looking stunning. You're probably not leaving that way. Like, let's be real.
And I think if you're going in with your full face of makeup and coming out with it at the end,
what have you actually
been there, done that though. Like talk about the pressure. Like I've been there where I'm like not wanting to go barefaced, and I've done like the bit of makeup to go, and I'm like, oh no, I just felt like I needed it.
Yeah.
Like you do still come out looking like a clown. Like
it's so unrealistic, and it's so reinforced by social media.
Completely.
And this short form content that we see constantly like perpetuated online. Like oh, I look amazing and I got up at this time, and it's like this do-it-all girl who gets up at 6 a.m. and looks amazing, goes to the gym, is absolutely still looks amazing when she leaves, has a really productive day, eats perfectly, and spends this amount of money on whatever. It's not realistic, and it's like a standard that...
How do you even fit that into your life?
I know, exactly, and it's like daily, my weekly split, and she's just working out every single day. I'm like, realistically, working women or most university students don't have time for that every single day.
No.
So I think it's that unrealistic standard that's constantly so in our face all the time.
And I think that's what puts people off doing it as well. Because
As
as
you
you
see
saw
that
that
social media.
Yeah, do you both feel that a little bit?
I don't anymore. I follow a lot of PTs and just interested in sort of content, so I do look online. I'm so far beyond ever wearing a bikini top to the gym. It doesn't even enter my thought process.
So I think there's still some pressures. I think it's just the for me the time. I think when you've got people saying, "Oh, I can do it every day." I'm not doing it every day, and I don't know where I would fit. If I wanted to, I suppose I could, but that I don't think it's achievable. But I think you're being fed the wrong message then, aren't you?
And I guess for moms, you guys have more commitments
Exactly.
than most, you know what I mean? It's not like you just
I think mine are less. I think that's why one of the reasons I've been able to do it now, because when you've got younger children, it's impossible, literally. Well, it's not impossible, but it's very, very hard. But I don't have childcare to think about anymore. So that actually lessens the commitments. And the job I'm in now, not right this minute because I'm still an acting head, but my normal job, I don't bring work home with me really. Which is the first time in my career that as a teacher, as a head teacher, there's always hours of work to be done every evening and every weekend, but I don't do that now. And I really prioritise that, and I protect my time. And make sure that I kind of fit in the gym visits and how to fit that in.
I think meal plan for me is probably my downfall. That's the one thing I'm not good at. And I think I get in, if I've done my sessions and then I just want to eat anything. Saffron's always telling me off for that.
I'm telling you
She's
off.
I'm gonna cook. We are gonna cook. And I'm like, okay.
So my issue is that now that I've put the time and energy into cooking properly, I just find going out for food a bit of a rip-off. To some extent, unless it's effective for my time, I don't want to bother going out. So we did the Zumba class, and then we were like, oh, really fancy Nando's, we're gonna go for Nando's this evening. I was like, it's just not bother because I can marinate the chicken at home. And then I put the chicken in the air fryer.
Does that change the generational thing? I don't know.
You guys not looped up on the air fryer yet? But yeah, so I don't know. I think that's an element of it as well. Is I don't know, just wanting to make the most of my time and saving money and that side of it. That's kind of important too. I don't know, maybe there's a little element, not so much when I made that Nando's meal, because that turned out to be a big stress in the end, and I kind of think we should have just
very nice though.
But I guess, in a way, we're all pushed our own individual narratives in different generations based on, what should we be doing with our time, all our free times that we don't have. It's so unrealistic.
I think as well, I find hard, trying to increase my protein, but then a lot of the things that people in the group chat share, this is great, it's got a high protein, for me is not accessible because I have to have wheat free, so I can't barney roast that. So they'll have the protein pancakes for breakfast and things like that, and they're all things, and I always think that's a hard part of my head.
So for Mother's Day, it's probably helpful for us to focus on some of the kind of more mum bits of stuff. So one of the things that I think we were keen to touch on was a little bit about the process of, obviously, you guys have had babies, but more around kind of that postpartum body, because I think we are probably on different algorithms to some extent, given my age. given my age. But girls my age now are having kids, and the idea of it terrifies me. I'm But I think there is an element, right, of like the idea around the postpartum body and what should be expected. I think there's a big glamorization of women being pregnant. I think like the maternity photo shoots that we've seen from celebrities and stuff, like there is a
Looking
lot
so
of that.
good. Yeah,
Incredible.
for
like,
no reason.
I'm expecting to be glowing, but
realistically,
the narratives around the body afterwards is still that bounce back sort of thing.
That phrasing.
And I guess there's an element like you guys have gone through it to some extent. And I wondered if you had any reflections, because I feel like it must drastically change your relationship with your body, going through all of that. But then also, I guess, kind of whether you had that inkling for fitness, or actually whether life did just get in the way and it's not on your mind, and we shouldn't be pushing women into that when that's such a massive life change in its own right. I don't know if you've got any reflections. That was a lot to unpack. In true Saffron fashion.
I think probably for me, so like, I think if especially being pregnant with you, I was quite young, but like, I think for my body, pregnancy is really tough. In the fact that I think it, like I spent a lot of time being sick at the beginning, and then feeling quite faint and things like that. And then I think afterwards, I don't think I necessarily felt so out of shape, but out, like, just unwell, like I felt run down and like I was lacking energy, and normally my iron goes rubbish, so that knocks me all off. So I think for me it was more to do with like a feeling afterwards of just not feeling well, really,
not feeling
and
yourself.
and having a baby to look after, and I think it's really exhausting, and I think there's a lot of pressure on people about how they look.
My experience, well, in terms of fitness, I was doing 0 anyway, so that didn't change when I had children. That's just because I've always battled with my weight, and so I actually loved being pregnant, because it's the only 3 times in my life, the 3 pregnancies, that I've been able to eat guilt-free.
Wow.
So I really, and I had very easy pregnancies, so I didn't have particular sickness or anything. My problem came with the birth.
Why are you looking at me like that?
So
what did I do?
Well, you tried to come out with your face first. That's what happened.
Sorry.
So that was an incredibly traumatic process in terms of, for my body, the trauma of 48 hours active labour and then an emergency C-section. So, and then and the bizarreness, and I think this is, I'm a real advocate for women not feeling that pressure, you know, like to understand you've just had you've carried it, you've grown a human, and that takes so much from your body. Then you've had this birth experience, which could be, you know, a number of any different ways. And then if you've had a C-section, you've had major abdominal surgery. And in what other world would you then be expected to care for a newborn baby 24/7? You know? And I remember being in the hospital in London, and I couldn't get you out of you were crying, which was pretty much solid for the first 9 months. I used to turn up at like these 1 o'clock clubs, they were called. They used to be called 1 o'clock clubs. Turn up like haggard, and the health visitor literally saved my life. She was just like,
let me take that off your hands.
But the pressure in terms of being expected to breastfeed. I'm really like with my second child I went in, because Ella, I think because my body was in trauma, milk never came in, and the midwives would come in every 2 hours and try and latch you on whilst I was in hospital. I was exhausted, and that is not a good way to start. And it wasn't until my health visitor, Bernie, I still remember her name. So she came round and she said, look, you're a teacher. You look out in your playground, can you tell me which of those children were bottle fed and which ones were breastfed? And I said, no. She said, right, let's get a bottle and let's just, if this isn't working for you, don't put this pressure on yourself. And I never looked back. So when I went into hospital with the second one, with Noah, I actually let him know, I said, before anybody says anything to me, I will not be breastfeeding my child, so please don't try and make me.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of really, and I feel strongly that women are under so much pressure through different things.
No, I think that's interesting, and I think there must be some element of shift mentally in how you view your body to some extent, because I guess there's an element of it not being just yours for a moment, and that must be weird to get your head around. I don't think I could even right
and
now.
And I don't think anyone can prepare you for that.
No.
Like, no one can tell you how that's going to feel until you feel it, really.
Yeah.
I don't think, even if someone said, like, oh, it's going to feel like this, it would, because everyone's journey's so different.
Yeah. But it's amazing, like the human body's capacity to manage those situations, in that I would now not be able to describe that pain. And I can't really remember it. I knew it hurt. Yeah. Because childbirth does, but I wouldn't be able to, like, I can't recall the levels of pain or anything from
I think
that.
the, like, oxytocin at the moment, you see your baby, it's just gone, isn't it? In the fact of, like, oh, that's so amazing. Look at this little person.
Yeah. And all experiences are so different. It's a bit like everyone's fitness journey, really.
Yeah.
Completely unique to you because of what you bring to it yourself, and your preconceptions or your ideas or your hopes and your, what is that is so individual.
Yeah, I guess that's why, like we say, you need the right people around you, the right experts with the right information to deliver it in the right way.
And you need your champions.
Yes.
So we talked a bit about, obviously, the becoming a mum part. I would love to get your guys' reflections on kind of maybe instilling fitness as a good thing and maybe not a negative thing through childhood, and maybe kind of the steps you did to help encourage that in us.
Yeah, I think you've done really well with us, I think. I think me and my siblings are all very different people.
Very.
Like, we are all opposites. So I think we've all got a very different outlook on fitness and the way we approach it. I think one of us doesn't, basically, at all.
No.
Yeah, I'll say that. Middle probably doesn't, sorry. And then, Toby's just started getting into weightlifting.
Yeah.
But you've always been an advocate for me in terms of, like, trying out new sports. I've probably tried out so much random stuff. Like, folk dancing. I don't know if you know this.
Irish song dancer.
It's so bad.
I've got video.
No, you don't. It's so bad. Like, in my little, like, skirt,
cute.
in my clogs.
Yeah. So the whole thing that I had is around, because I've always struggled with my weight, I was very, very strict about the language we used in the house. So food was never described, diets were never mentioned, like I never said I'm on a diet. It was, food was either healthy or, not healthy. I was really clear about, things like fat shaming and body, the language we use around having a healthy body. And healthy doesn't necessarily mean thin. It's about, so that was kind of my big thing, was being really careful about the language, because those things get in your head as a kid and become bigger and bigger as you kind of move into adulthood. So we then, but also wanted them to enjoy the whole element of feeling healthy, which is ironic really, because I wasn't particularly healthy and I wasn't doing exercise, but I didn't want that for them. I wanted them to have that kind of opportunity. So after the ballet, the clog dancing and the horse
so
riding,
many failures.
we hit upon netball.
We got there.
And that's been an amazing part of our relationship though, because you started that when you were 10 and you were a really good player, national standard player, and that meant that we were travelling the country, so we would randomly turn up in, little villages and stay in little B&Bs. And we've got so many like fun stories and memories from doing that. That's kind of bonded us through all of your teenage years.
Definitely, yeah. I think, it was always just us two. Like, Dad was kind of involved, but it was always you, like, pushing me. And like, if I had stumbles, like, trials. There's a lot of trials and that sort of thing. Like you'd always be like ready to take me to the next random location in the UK.
But I still think that the gains from doing that are immeasurable. You know, your ability to go into a new situation with new people and not be fazed by it is and also you kind of arrived at university, you already had your tribe. You know, you've got that group of people with a shared interest before you've even started, so
that's one of the massive benefits of sport, I think. It is like a ready-made group of friends, especially if you're going into a new like situation, university for example. Even if you've never tried it before, like even just going into a give it a go session and seeing how it is and like chatting, it's such like an easy, accessible group of people, just like potential friends basically. But I found it like it's massive, and I honestly like appreciate all the time the fact you took, I don't even know how many hours out of sat in the cold, like in a little
on a side
like shivering.
It's a winter sport and it's an outdoor sport a lot of the time. So, but it's also been it's a major part of our life now as well in terms of so the Netball Super League. One of the coaches in that Super League is kind of part of our family now. As because she's from New Zealand, so we've sort of adopted her into our family. So she's effectively, you know, another sister for Ella, and she's like my daughter. Good old Jo.
Good old Jo.
But so and I love watching it. You know, it's a real fun thing. I love watching either of you playing. So it's been instrumental, really.
I think one other thing we bond over is like the representation is so important. Like the only reason I really continued with it is because Mum took me to see an England game, and I could see like what it could be, the standard you can reach if you.
She thought no one watched it.
No one
made it.
Yeah,
they do.
But it's predominantly like obviously there is some mixed teams now, some men's teams, but at the time it was mainly just a women's sport. So I thought no one watches this. There's like no one sees it. There's no publicity, and we went to this massive arena and it was packed full of people to see I think it was Jamaica England. And the standard was so high and they were so quick and athletic. I was like, oh, that's what I want to be. So it's like if you see it, you can be it sort of thing. It's so important. And I guess that's circling back around to fitness. Like if you see more women who look like you entering spaces that aren't necessarily
traditionally
for you. So just breaking those boundaries a little bit. But it's been huge. But what about you?
I feel like we took a different approach. So I think one of the key lessons you taught me was that if you try really hard, you can do anything. That was like a fundamental belief of mine. It's like if I'm not good at something, that's just because I didn't try enough. And that maybe took me down some wild roads.
I think before like sport, like you did ballet, didn't you?
Yeah.
So that's something she loved. When
did you manage the hair?
I could do hair, yeah. So she loved all of that. So we did all the hair things.
Yes.
And then it was kind of just sports at school, really, wasn't it? And then we moved to Germany, and it was the Olympics, and that was a big bit of our thing. So I love watching sports. Watching the Olympics and everything. And Saffron decided she was going to be an Olympian.
Yeah, did you? Yeah, I did.
In which particular sport?
That was irrelevant.
Just an Olympian.
No.
So So what did you try? Where did you start?
So we started swimming.
Okay.
So fun fact about me. I don't like my head being underwater, so I won't really let my nose.
Swimming?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not my nose. I didn't like it up my ears. I had to wear my goggles. Like I really didn't like that. That didn't seem like a big enough barrier though. So I thought I'd try to swim anyway.
Of course.
So you did lots of swimming.
Yeah, so I tried a lot of that. I had this special swimming costume. We'd ordered it especially. And I think it was a next exclusive Team GB swimming costume.
So I was ready from day one.
Living in Germany, I pulled up to the German swimming pool in my Union Jack. No. Full Union Jack.
Oh
yeah, big Team GB. I'm swimming with my head out the water.
I'm gonna make it.
And eventually I was like, I've not got the speed, but that's okay. I'm gonna try diving.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I've seen Tom Daly and I like what I saw. Didn't go in it. So we've got a nose clip.
Nice.
Probably 1 month old, and I thought to myself, you know what? I can get past the ears. For a gold medal, I can get past water being in my ears.
Okay. Yeah.
Turns out, though, I actually can't dive.
So we did a lot of belly flops.
Yeah, hours and hours of trying to dive every
Sat there
second.
laughing.
And it's like, you know,
She's so determined. That's it. You must know that about Saffron now.
no.
She's so determined
Yeah.
that we can't stop. Okay, we'll keep going.
Yeah.
So we do it and practice.
It was like, you know the videos where it's like POV, your dad doing, like, helping you with your maths homework. It was like that. My dad would be like, bend your knees, curve your body, and I'm just there like belly flopping.
And then we try and teach her to drop off the end.
They would literally be stood at the side and be like, belly flop.
That must have been
Yeah. We had pictures doing my belly that was just like covered.
It's raw.
Could not do it. So eventually the penny dropped. But that's not my sport either. I can do an amazing cannonball, and I'm not afraid of heights. So I did the top board, so you cannonball thing.
That
Like,
terrified me. 10 metres.
yeah.
Oh my
Yeah. That was
Never knew this
fine.
about you.
But like, couldn't dive.
No.
And but obviously,
Try another.
not off the high one. A belly flop off of there would have killed me, I think.
Yeah.
So I took
sport?
safety seriously. Yes, I did.
Oh,
so
okay.
obviously, you know, swimming's happened on TV and
Yeah.
had a go.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Not yet.
Then
And then it
comes
was-
Jess Ennis.
Oh,
Right, so we tracked into the...
She was very inspirational.
Yeah, I was. I was just like, what a woman.
this girl.
I could do that. So
I'm sensing a trend. Like, I love how this is all making sense of who you are now.
yes. So I did try at school the, what are they called, the hurdles. I'm very
Nice.
short. That was really tough actually.
They're quite high, those handles.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where I was like, it doesn't feel right being beaten by someone just because they're tall, so I'm gonna nap that off. And I thought, you know what my biggest strength is? Determination. What does that lend itself to? Long distance running. So
That was next.
I love this, like, continue to search for the thing.
yeah, and I remember I was like, I'm gonna do long distance running. Sports day's
Nice.
coming up. This is my sport now.
brilliant.
I've decided.
Yeah.
And I'd practice at home. I'd go on little runs. I didn't really enjoy it, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
You're gonna be an Olympian.
Because I'm gonna be an Olympian. And then I was like, right, I'm doing my runs at home. I just think I need to practice on the track. So I joined the team at school. I think the PE teachers were confused because they had a word with Dad previously about how I'm a trier.
Yeah.
And that's great, but Saffron's not good at sports, and that's okay. So they were a bit thrown when I turned up in my uniform.
Another Team GB?
No,
Not that time.
no, not right. But I did have a little iPod Nano, and I obviously have a little headphones. I don't know if anyone remembers this. I'm pretty sure it was JLS. They did a music video for the Olympics, and it was like, all that I do is to make you proud. And I would listen to that on loop, running around at the school track over and over. Yeah. And I came second, and that really wound me up because the girl that came first, well, she was really talented, and I was not.
No, second's good though.
Yeah, but it wasn't
She got
first.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But
You know what?
so I finished the
This is all making
race,
sense.
and I just thought, you know what, Sappers,
It's not
gave it
fair.
your best shot.
You know
but
what?
second didn't go get your gold medal. And
So you didn't just want to be an Olympian, you wanted to be a
oh
gold
yeah,
medalist.
being an Olympian's fine, but I need my moment on the
First loser.
podium, flag over my shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
That was the thing I was looking
Glory.
for. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't gonna come from.
It's not cutting it.
Yeah. Is that all of them?
Yeah.
But I think that's the one thing you taught me was confidence, and only
Yeah.
you can control your confidence.
Yeah.
And I think that was important, and I think that's probably why each kind of downfall.
It didn't knock you down.
Yeah, so it was just well, it's not that one.
Yeah. The next
What's
one.
next?
What's next?
And being able to see the potential, there was always potential, and I think
Yeah.
that's probably something that I've still carried into my fitness journey now. But just of that, actually, what I want to outdo is myself.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's been really effective.
That's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you've got lots of resilience. That's what I think.
Too
you've
much,
got.
I wish.
Lots of confidence and lots of resilience.
Two good attributes.
Oh, and one sport I was great at, dodgeball.
Oh yeah.
Hit you.
No, well, can I just say, what about the pogo stick?
Oh,
What?
God. Yeah, I was absolutely amazing at the pogo stick. Like, yeah, 100%. No, like, amazing. I got one for Christmas. But to the point where I couldn't just be good at the pogo stick, I learnt tricks.
Oh, you have to be the best, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could pogo stick without using my hands.
That is so,
And it was like,
so dangerous.
But then I didn't think that was good enough. I also thought I need to actually put this talent I now have on display. So at the year 6 leavers assembly, my special talent in front of the school was pogo stick. Yeah.
No, you know what?
Yeah, I did introduce. Yes, one of these I feel really
Just keep going. I did magic tricks at mine. I did.
You were that person.
I was that guy. It was so bad. They worked, but like it was so many people, and I was just like, what am I doing? This is like looking back, I'm like, that's just embarrassing. Stop.
Saffron does not think that.
Yeah, no.
Dad, you know what? It was Dad told me to do that. See, that wasn't
do
Mum.
that, wasn't it?
You would have been like, that's really lame. You would have just
I
told
wouldn't
me.
have said it quite like that.
You were like, oh, that's you're.
I would have
like
said
that.
something like, I'm not really a fan of magic.
I would have been like, don't crush my dreams, Mum. I'll do what I want.
Right, I feel like to round off the episode,
Yes.
we should do some closing thoughts. And the key question we wanted to ask was whether you had any advice for your younger self.
I would say be brave. Be brave and take that chance, and what's the worst that can happen? You know, in terms of the fitness journey, be brave, go into the gym, own the space, be confident. Part of that, I think, comes from being postmenopausal and thinking about, you know, you're at an age. It's an age where a lot of women are written off in their careers and various other things partly because of the symptoms and partly because, you know, it's just a lot of women say they start to feel invisible.
Yeah.
So I think
in society though, that's
Yeah,
the thing,
absolutely,
isn't it?
yeah.
Like societal norms now. Menopause, and I think there's lots of change coming.
yes,
I still think they've got a long way to go.
a long way to go. You say something like trainee doctors get like a day.
I think a day.
Talked about women's health.
Yeah, and that really underlines the gender gap in medicine and
Yes.
treatments
Yes.
for both, you know, women in terms of periods as well, in terms of, you know, how that's dealt with. It's like, no, you just got to put up with the pain. You just got to, and the same with menopause. No, you just, you know, here, take some antidepressants. That'll sort you out.
Yes.
It's just so misunderstood. But I think my advice to my younger self would be just never let yourself shrink because you're doing something that society, or you think that you shouldn't be doing this, or you're not the right shape to go here, or you're not the right, you know, not the right age to do whatever it is. But I will also understand that you have to go through a process of building that confidence as you get older, and I think that does become easier. But certainly keeping myself fitter when I was younger would have helped me through my whole life. But I'm just pleased I found it now.
Yeah.
And I think as well, though, I think when we like younger, I don't think that there was the same focus around exercise.
No, not at all.
I don't think that was really everything.
No.
So like I don't look at my mum and I don't really remember her exercising.
No.
And I think there was that period when like the Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda.
Yeah, and
I did
that was
Jane
what women did in their
Yeah.
living rooms.
Yeah.
There was never this, you know, you didn't see women out running.
No.
You didn't see people out doing those kind of exercises. So I think it's hard then to think, like when we haven't had that influence.
And to see it to be it.
Yeah.
The whole representation, that wasn't there, was it?
No. And so I think that's really hard.
Yeah.
And I think to get to where we've got today, we've had to come a long way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how important it is, like you say, about that quality of life.
Yeah.
When you hit menopause, like estrogen drops, lean muscle mass drops, you're so much more prone to injury if you've not built that up over your life. Obviously you can in older age, but
But
it's
I
so
think that's
important.
something that there was never like that. I think education needs to be better for women about looking after themselves,
Yeah.
because I just don't think it's there.
Yeah, it should be
Yeah.
common knowledge. And I personally, I don't know about you, remember any of this being taught in PH, what was it, PSHE?
Oh god, yeah.
Menopause was never even mentioned.
No.
But the huge impact on a woman's body from menopause, because hormones, it's multi-organ. So it's every element of your body is impacted by the drop in estrogen, and the impact from that is still, we're only scratching the surface of what. I mean, there's so many random symptoms. I have itchy ears.
Yeah.
Well, so you say that, but I remember my mum as a kid would always get like a, what do you call it, like a Bobbi pin, is it?
Yeah.
And like try and scratch her ear, and I used to think that's so random. Yeah, she was probably menopausal.
Yeah.
Didn't think.
No, you wouldn't think that itchy ears was
why have you got itchy ears? That's so strange.
Yeah, but there's so many things, and I think it's just so misunderstood.
Yes.
And I think as women, we're not good at, I think we're getting better, but women weren't good about talking about those things.
Yeah.
I think women have got to get better at sharing that to make it feel more normal.
Yes.
I'm very open. If I go into a room, the first thing I do now is I go and I open the windows. Sorry, menopausal, need fresh air in here, because otherwise you don't want to see the impact of not having fresh air.
Yeah.
And it's just that I think we've got to normalise it, the language around.
And I think men need better education to actually understand why women are the way they are.
I count myself as quite lucky, really. My symptoms are, very minimal, really, compared to, although mental health I was totally misdiagnosed several years ago when I was kind of in menopause. But my symptoms are relatively, I don't take HRT and I cope fine. Well, more than cope, I'm fine. But so many women's lives are absolutely decimated by the symptoms they have from menopause, and they have to leave their careers, and it's kind of must be devastating.
Yeah, and I think they don't see that, doctors, when they're looking at that, they don't see the holistic approach of how much it's impacting life, and I think actually that needs to go into that consultation. How much is this impacting your day to day? Because actually if it is, then we should be doing something about it. But I think that's not necessarily listened to. It's just like you say, a quick fix, here's some antidepressants.
Yeah, definitely. But then there's also that societal aspect as well. I think a lot of women's pain can be quite underestimated, as opposed to men's pain.
I think there's still a big difference, isn't there? I think if a man went to a doctor with symptoms of menopause, they'd be having so many tests done. The doctors would be doing so much for them, because they'd be like, well, there's a lot going on for you, we need to tackle this and this. And a woman goes and they just go,
there's not much to do.
But I maintain that if men went through the menopause, we would be looking at a very different landscape now in terms of menopausal care and understanding. It would be completely different. I think the gender differences in medicine, the gender inequalities in medicine is massive.
Yes, the research gap is unbelievable, especially obviously it's beginning now, but the backlog of quality, large sample size studies for men over time is so accumulated. They've got long-term benefits and cons of different medicines and approaches built up over years, and we're just starting more recently for women, so it's so different, but it's good it's starting, and I think it's going in a positive direction. But like you say, there's a lot of work to do.
A lot of work to do, but it needs women to vocalise and verbalise and share their experiences, and I think doing that is the way forward.
Definitely.
Did you have a final piece of
I
advice?
think for me it would be just that you're okay being you, and that you haven't got to be everybody's perception of everything. You can just be you, and that's okay, and feel comfortable being you. And I think my advice always to you is try everything and and to get comfortable being uncomfortable is always what and I think that's really important, and I think it's okay to feel uncomfortable, but to still take the step. And I'm just all about showing up on myself. I keep showing up for one more day, and you just don't know what could happen. So for me, that would be 1 year.
Amazing. Okay then, well guys, that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Charlotte.
Thanks for having us.
That was such a fun episode. I really enjoyed
It's
that.
been amazing.
Yeah.
As always, you can find more details in the show notes. Don't forget to leave us a rating. Follow along. You can watch this on YouTube or you can listen on Spotify. On both, you can subscribe or follow. We would love to keep you around, and we will see you all very, very soon. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.